Politics and International Relations back here, and a political analyst for Angolan TV. Yes. Gika.
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to say thank you to Ricardo, and then I've been linked with Ricardo's work by the magazine African Report, and I've read some of your work in there. And the reason why I'm here is because last year, on 27th of May, I was here on Lara to launch the book. And then I came because one of my friends is there, Master Angola Vunile. So he gave me the opportunity to come here instead. So he said, you are a young man, you have to go there, and you know, this is your time. Just go there and do your thing. So then I came, and yet again, this year, Lara Pawson, you know, and Ricardo, they invited me, invited me to come here, so I'm glad to be here. I will not talking about in terms of academic or, you know, highly, as you expect. I'm going to talking about in very practicality in terms of social conditions of what we live in Angola, because I'm from the side that which is not the elites, you know. So this is us. I'm part of those who are suffering. I left Angola as a consequences of that civil war. That's why I left my country. I didn't want to leave my country. When my mother, she's a pioneer of the fight for the liberation of Angola, when she went down the bush to fight, she never thought I would be here, living in a country. And one of the things that made me be part of this country is being an asylum seeker, with no matter if I came with my Angolan passport, but in the process, in immigration says, claim to be an Angolan. I swear for God that if my dad comes back to the life, you ask him, this is the life you fighting for your son to be a claiming asylum seeker? No, he would say no. So that's why I'm here today. And before we talking about you know, this Angolans elite, the so-called general, the people around the president, one of the things that I want to emphasize to you guys is the peace. We have to understand that, you know, what is the peace? In order to understand that, so, you know, I went to one of the men that I really like is John Kennedy. So one of his speech on the 10th of June 1962 in University of Americana, which was change the peace. John Kennedy emphasized in there, we need to understand what is really peace, because everything comes before peace is mankind made. It's the man who made this condition. So therefore we cannot go there and bombard the people. We have to deal with the consequences. So as a fact, so we young people in Angola, we've been stuck with this peace. Let me tell you something. After the Civil War finished, technically in 2002, so we have a constituency that President Jose Eduardo Santos signed. And there's a right to protest, there's a right, you know, there's many rights in there. So young people, when they go out to protest because the things are not good, you know, they may not engage with the new world, but the awake of Angolan young people is connected with the new world. And when we go there to protest, they beating us, they rip us apart. And this is no peace. That's why John Kennedy said that, you know, we have to understand the consequence of peace. So we don't want to live in a society like, because I've said something, because I've pointed something, I've been followed by the sinful. I've been taking pictures. My conversation is being recorded. So we don't want this society. We young Angolans, Africans, we demand for that to finish. You know, as a consequence, you can see here in Europa what's happening right now. You know what I mean? New generation is in the power. Look what's happening in Greece. Podemos is coming in the power in Spain. I've been with them. Bloco de Esquerda in Portugal, they're coming in the power. This is a young people. 36, I think, you know, 42. So we, instead in Africa, the president of African Union, with all respect with them, is 90-something years old. And that brings us hope. No, this is our time. You know, but the thing is, even we want to go there to lead our country, we go another problem, because you know, they treat us as a baby, and there's not as much experience from young Angolans in order to lead their country. But one day, we will lead that country. I mean, I'm not saying myself I'm the one who's going to lead the country. There are people capable to do that. You know, they might be sitting on this place, but there are young Angolans who are capable to do that. So we don't want to live in that society, unfortunately, where the things, you know, happening that you cannot talk, you can do anything, they will follow you. Maria Eugenia Neto, the wife of Antonio Agostinho Neto, she said, you know, my husband, I believe, because, you know, now I'm a man, I go wife. When I have something, when something happens to me, I share with my wife. I believe that Maria Eugenia Neto said that because Neto shared the thought with her. She said, if my husband come into life, he won't like what happened. Not because a young man just put in a poster in a paper, he's been killed. That's not good, and the president has not said anything about that. You know what I'm saying? So when Dos Santos gave a speech, when he gave an interview, his first interview after 21 years without speaking, so to a Portuguese Israeli, yeah, that's true. Dos Santos had, you know, I always say that Dos Santos have many chances to restore the, you know, the relation with this fellow country, with us. Dos Santos, when the journalists say, look, now is the Arab Primavera, so I think this revolution, it comes to Angola too. Dos Santos should have said, you know, I cannot say that we need to have the values of morality of democracy. Here, 200 and something years, yesterday I've read in the newspaper that somebody in the British government or whatever, they were involved in bribing things. They've been in a democracy for a long time. That is corruption. In 2009, we had the situation, the MOP claims, you know, they were claiming the expenses, which was wrong, and they had to redo it. As a fact, 4 people, they went to jail. So they've been long time in the democracy in this country. So I don't expect Angola to have the values of moral of democracy, but the president had a chance to engage with the peace, like John Kennedy said in 1962. And Dos Santos, no, Dos Santos called us, they are frustrated. They never been to school. They don't have education. But let me tell you something. We did not have education because the Civil War. Our fathers went to fight for Angolan liberation. Our mothers went to fight for Angolan liberation and went up to be a beggars. You know what I mean? That's what it says in the which engages what I'm saying. So Dos Santos never said that. I mean, that was purely wrong. He welcomed, we don't have nothing against it because our country, we know the reality. Our country, after Civil War, they need the people in order to improve the country. So he welcomed the Portuguese, the young Portuguese. Yeah, they come and they do the job. So where we stand, you know, Dos Santos saying we're going to invest in education. No education. The reflections of these 10 years of boom that they say in Angola is only for the elites. It's only for them. So I think this is a time, you know, they are ours. They're part of us. No matter what we're saying about MPLA, about NITA, about the politicians in Angola, they're part of us. So I think this is a time and opportunity for them to start looking into the social condition of individual. Because in the first place, when the fathers of liberations of Angola went in the bush to fight against the masters of colonization, was the liberation of individual. And now it seems to be that there's a war against an individual. They breaking the head of young men. Last time, that was nasty. I showed the picture to my daughter. She started screaming. They beating a woman. The way they dealt with that woman, that was so drastically that I never see before. And then in 1992, when we had the war, I was there in Angola. I've never seen what they've been doing. So what kind of peace is this one? You know what I mean? This is the question. We Angolans, I'm not demanding a regime change. No, I'm not saying Dos Santos get out, but they need to do something for us. Because we there. And Ricardo, by bringing these books, you know what I mean, the title, when I received my book just today, you know, there was a misunderstood by the post. So that's why I cannot talk about deeply in the book. But obviously, you know, what I'm saying engages with the book. But one of the other things that I want to mention is the respect that the people who govern in Angola, they do not have a respect for us in Angola. If somebody disagrees with me, I'm happy to hear what you're saying and to talk with you. We go here an ambassador, Mr. Miguel Neto, right? When Miguel Neto addressed it to Angolan community on the day of the Angolan independence in Manchester, in 11th of November 2012, Miguel Neto straight away, on his first word, they know what they're doing. He straight away said, we need to stop living like a beggar. No, we don't live like a beggar. There's many Angolans who came here, they might come later because they went to work with credible sources from the British government gave information to Miguel Neto so that the ambassador came with that speech. That is negative. And because I say so, I cannot go back to my country. That's not on. That's not on. You know what I mean? So this is the situation. We live in a beggar situation. We want to get off of that beggar situation. We want to be hard. So, you know, this is my thing that I had to say because I'm an activist. I might not be too articulated as many people expected, but, you know, thank you very much for listening to me.
I just had one question. We'll open up the question. You say the money's been sort of spent, but if you went outside Luanda, and maybe one or two other cities, would you say this is a rich country, or are the people in the rural areas as poor as ever?
Thank you, Richard. I'll just pick up that question and the others very quickly.
Yeah.
And then we'll open the floor and then you can ask as many questions as you want. Let me just say that first